This is USVI News, your Virgin Islands connection.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us for USVI News. I'm Emily Matson. We begin with the very latest on COVID-19 as the virus continues to spread rapidly in the nearby British Virgin Islands. This spike is still concerning to VI government leaders and health leaders here. So our USVI News' Ali Bourne-Vinek explains what they're doing to prevent a surge here in the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Emily, it was a sobering start to the governor's press conference, where he began talking about the British Virgin Islands and that the number of deaths when it comes to COVID-19 is now up to 17. All of this in just the last few weeks. Here in the U.S. Virgin Islands, the number of COVID cases are also going up. There are currently 157 active cases of COVID-19, 81 on St. Thomas, 70 on St. Croix, and 2 on St. John. There are also currently 16 hospitalizations, which is the most at a given time when it comes to COVID-19 here in the territory.
You know, people I know are asking, well, what are we going to do about what's going on in the Virgin Islands in terms of the surge that we're seeing? Well, the first thing that we always do is we uptick the testing. As you see, we got a lot of testing going on. Last week we got up to over 1,000 tests in one day. And we had thinking that day we had 40 positives, but 1,036 tests, if my memory serves me correct. Even though that's 0.4% of the positivity rate, it's still too high for us. We need to get that down. So what you need to look out for, you could work with me or I could work against you. So we need to start to corral the mass gatherings. People got a lot of stuff planned in the upcoming weeks. If we continue on this trend for this week, look to see all of that stuff canceled. Look to see our mass gathering go back down to 100. If we can't get this thing under control, also you'll be looking to see a way more aggressive COVID task force out there on the bars on the weekends, shutting stuff down. We've been trying to work with the numbers. As we see the numbers come down, we try to work with people and, we know the business is good, but it's just getting out of control. And I don't want to be in a situation like our sister island. Like I said, when your neighbor house is on fire, you throw water on yours. So just do the right thing.
The governor and health officials are again reminding the public that there are free COVID tests and free COVID vaccines available to the public, and that most of the cases of COVID-19 we are seeing are coming from the unvaccinated. In St. Thomas, Ali Bourne-Vinek, USVI News.
Thank you, Ali, for that update. The U.S. Virgin Islands has fulfilled its promise of providing St. Vincent and the Grenadines with aid and supplies after the Le Soufrière volcano erupted a few months back. Roseanne Farrington from the territory's Department of Tourism is thanking all VI residents for making this successful mission possible.
The Department of Tourism is pleased and excited to report that our St. Vincent humanitarian relief effort ended in a success. As a result, we have shipped 4 20-foot containers to St. Vincent filled with much needed resources like water, personal hygiene items, and non-perishable foods. We are grateful and continue to express gratitude to our local business community who have stepped up and have volunteered their time, effort, and resources to ensure that our initiative was a success.
That's great for all of those VI residents who stepped up to help. Employees with the VI Department of Public Works give back to kids in the community. They stopped by the Caribbean Center for Boys and Girls VI, as well as the Department of Sports, Parks and Recreation Summer Camp and Engage Vision VI. They hung out with the kids a bit and delivered goodie bags to them. It's all part of the VI Department of Public Works initiatives and efforts to be great community partners and spend some time with children in our Virgin Islands community. Rollout. Millions have already received their first payments, but some low-income Americans may have to take an extra step to receive their check. Our Washington correspondent Matt Knadler explains.
This week, the IRS is sending out advanced child tax credit payments to Americans they have on record. But for an estimated 2.3 million children, that money could be in jeopardy.
That's a big concern for the IRS.
That means some low-income families who don't typically file taxes will need to sign up on a special IRS website to receive their payments. Officials tell us this non-filer link you see here will get them started.
Basically, it files a return, a zero-sum return on your behalf, gets you in the system, and gives us an account number that, we make sure you are who you say you are, have an account for that money to land at, and it's sent right to you.
The expansion, made possible in the COVID relief deal signed in March, gives monthly payments between $250 and $300 per child through December. The credit now covers 2 age ranges. It will go from $2,000 to $3,600 for children under age 6 and up to $3,000 for other children under age 18. Parents will receive the remaining half of their credit when they file their 2021 tax returns.
When you invest in their youth, they tend to have better health outcomes, better educational outcomes, better earnings outcomes.
The Biden administration wants to make the expanded child tax credit permanent in their human infrastructure bill. They say it will help kids the way Social Security helps seniors. And do you expect it to be included in the president's American Family?
Very much so.
If you're a low-income earner who still hasn't received your stimulus check from the American Rescue Plan, the White House tells us you can apply for that through the non-filer link as well. In Washington, Matt Knadler reporting.
After being postponed for a year due to the coronavirus pandemic, the Tokyo Olympics will officially kick off this coming Friday. The game's opening ceremony will be held at the Olympic Stadium, originally built as the centerpiece of the 1964 Tokyo Olympics. The stadium was torn down in 2015 and rebuilt to accommodate a larger capacity for the 2020 games. However, no fans, Japanese or foreign, are going to be allowed at any of the Olympic sporting events in Japan's capital due to the pandemic. The Olympic Stadium will also host most track and field events, the gold medal match in women's soccer, and the game's closing ceremony. Meantime, with just days to go until the opening ceremony, another Olympic athlete has tested positive for coronavirus, this time an American teenage gymnast. Officials have yet to identify the athlete, but do say she is an alternate. They say she's not showing any symptoms and is currently quarantining in her room. The teen tested positive Sunday. Another alternate gymnast has been identified as a close contact to her. On Monday, officials announced the number of COVID-19 cases linked to the 2020 Olympic Games has risen to 58. It's raising fears the Games, which start on Friday again, could turn into a global super spreader event. Everyone over the age of 2 should wear masks while in school during the upcoming academic year. That's according to updated recommendations from the American Academy of Pediatrics. The association says it strongly recommends in-person learning and urges everyone to get the COVID-19 vaccine if they are eligible. However, it says since a significant portion of students are not eligible, then universal masking should be in place to reduce transmission of the virus regardless of vaccination status. They also say schools should be prepared to adopt an all-encompassing approach for mental health support, and that strategies should be revised and adapted depending on the level of viral transmission within the community. Speaking of school, Staples is offering teachers a 20% discount on select in-store purchases before school resumes this fall. The offer is good through the end of September. The office supply store chain has also launched a classroom rewards app, which parents can use to give a percentage of their qualifying purchase back to an enrolled teacher or school administrator of their choice. Well, if you're an avid coffee drinker, you've likely heard of the Arabica bean. It's one of the most popular coffee beans in the U.S., but now it could be costing you more. Largely to blame is a devastating drought in Brazil, the world's largest supplier of coffee beans. The International Coffee Organization estimates nearly 30% of the country's Arabica crop for 2021-2022 was lost due to the dry spell. And the effects are being felt globally right now. Many coffee roasters have had to raise their prices in some coffee products by almost 30% due to the drought in Brazil. And this, on top of the pandemic, has been tough.
You know, it is an important part of business, though it's always a challenge to ask your customers to take a little more for what they had already. But as I said, they're very understanding, and we appreciate the loyalty we've received from many people, a lot of support, and, you know, local businesses need that right now.
Certainly do. Max also says the company, like many, has taken a hit during the pandemic, and he's encouraging everyone to shop local.